15.7 trillion naira at the end of December 2019.
Senior Democrats have responded by accusing him of committing a gross offence.
The All Progressives Congress has vowed to punish the Ogun State Governor, Ibikunle Amosu.
To 15.7 trillion naira at the end of December 2019.
Senior Democrats have.
Welcome to Newsdesk on Celebration TV. I am Comfort James, and it is many thanks for joining us. Quickly a look at the news making the rounds for today. Buhari seeks National Assembly's help to end insecurity. South African police call for end to violent riots as death toll climbs over 70. Battle over voting rights unfolding across the U.S. Marketers, TUC disagree with Senate on fuel imports. Second batch of Team Nigeria arrived Japan for Olympics. Do well to stay with us as I bring you a lineup of news stories in details just right after this time out. Welcome back. Now the news in details. Buhari seeks National Assembly's help to end insecurity. President Muhammadu Buhari urges the National Assembly to partner his regime in order to bring insecurity to an end. Buhari made a plea at a dinner held in honor of members of senators and members of the House of Representatives at the State House Conference Center in Abuja. The special advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, states that President Buhari tells National Assembly members they must do everything within their powers to end insecurity. According to the statement, the President expressed concern that insecurity had inhibited the government's ability to build infrastructure, provide much-needed social services to the people, and attract investment that drive innovation, creative industries, and provide jobs and create wealth. He also says some of the people who perpetrate these various manifestations of insecurity do so for profit, others in the name of discredited ideologies. In these circumstances, they must do everything within their power without consideration of distractions to put an end to their activities and bring them to book. He lauds the Ninth National Assembly for discharging their legislative duties with maturity and competence, describing the legislature as full partners in national development. The President notes that the executive and legislature came into office at a time of significant challenges for the country, adding that overcoming these challenges requires that they finally confront long-ignored questions of economics, politics, law, and history that are often at the root of the national problems. And now moving forward. Obaseki vows to implement NSAS panel report. The Edo State Governor, Mr. Godwin Obaseki, vows to carry out the recommendation of the NSAS panel, which has been constituted across the states of the Federation, while calling on political leaders in the country to listen to the yearning of the people who gave them the mandate through the ballot. Obaseki states this while receiving the report of the 28-man judicial panel of inquiry constituted to investigate police brutality, human rights abuses, and extrajudicial killings by the disbanded police unit, the Special Anti-Robbery Squad in the state. He hails Honorable Justice Ada Ehiagiamose-led panel for its commitment, courage, and diligence. Obaseki assures that the government would carefully review the report of the panel and ensure its recommendations are implemented. This is a nationwide activity, and in the last National Economic Council meeting, it was decided that all states should submit their report on the investigations carried out during the NSAS protest. Meanwhile, Obaseki further advised that to forestall a recurrence of the EndSARS protests in the country, political leaders should listen to the yearning of the people, knowing that the people gave them the political mandate through the ballot. And now, in another development, stakeholders differ on UTME's 16-year minimum age. Some stakeholders in the education sector, including the Nigerian Union of Teachers, or Nigerian Confederation of Principals of Secondary Schools and the National Parent-Teacher Association of Nigeria, expresses divergent opinions on a report seeking to peg the age limit for candidates who want to sit the Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination (UTME) at 16 years. Report has it that the Senate announced plans to amend the law establishing the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board so as to limit the age of a candidate sitting the UTME to 16 years and above. The Vice Chairman, Senate Committee on Basic Education, Senator Akon Eyakeni, who gave the indication during the committee's oversight visit to JAMB, says this would prevent underage candidates from participating in the examination for the purpose of gaining admission into universities in Nigeria. In his reaction, the Secretary General, not Dr. Mike Ikene, says it is not ideal for a student to sit for the UTME at under 16 years, adding that it would be good if the law was amended. Reasons being that when a child is rushed too early, the child rushes out too early without learning. He said parents should dedicate more time to their children because if a child enters the school at 8 years, he or she will be more mature than his or her other mate, who may be 6 or 7 years old in the same class. Now bringing you news stories coming from around Africa. South African police call for end to violent riots as death toll climbs over 70. Police and security chiefs in South Africa calls on the population to stop riots after more than 100 people were arrested in connection to the looting of a mall. In recent days, the imprisonment of former President Jacob Zuma has led to unrest, leaving 72 people dead and 1,200 people arrested in poor areas of 2 regions. South Africa Police Minister Becky Cele says the security forces won't allow mockery of their democratic state and will double efforts to stop violence. The military has deployed 2,500 troopers in support of the police. Police attribute the deaths in provinces to the stampedes as thousands of people stole food, electric appliances, liquor, and clothing from stores. Some of those arrested in Daviton were bleeding from shattered glass on floors, slippery from liquid spilled during the riots. Running battles carried on as security and the police fired stun grenades and rubber bullets to push back rioters who were entering the shops by going through delivery entrances, emergency exits, and climbing on roofs. Authorities have repeatedly warned people, including Zuma supporters and relatives, against using social media to encourage the riots. Police says that about a dozen people have been identified as having instigated the riots. Zuma is serving a 15-month sentence for contempt of court for refusing to testify in an inquiry investigating allegations of corruption while he was president from 2009 to 2018. And still from around Africa, Zimbabweans desperate to get jabs amid shortage. Zimbabweans in Harare queuing 4 kilometers outside one of the capital's main hospitals in the hope of being vaccinated against COVID-19, but many complains there are no jabs to be had. Zimbabwe is one of more than 14 African countries where the Delta variant is quickly spreading. Earlier this month, the country returned to strict lockdown measures to combat a resurgence of COVID-19 amid vaccine shortages. Infections dramatically increase in June despite a night curfew, reduced business hours, localized lockdowns in hotspot areas, and a ban on intercity travel. The virus has spread to rural areas which have sparse health facilities. To date, 9% of Zimbabwe's 15 million people have received at least 1 vaccine dose and 3.7% have received 2 doses. Across Africa, less than 2% of the continent's 1.3 billion people have received at least 1 vaccine jab, according to the Africa Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Right now, we're taking a break, and when we return, we shall be bringing you news updates from the United States. Do well to stay with us.
An amazing wonder prepared for mankind comes to Istanbul, Turkey.
God bless you. My name is Johnson Suleiman. Please take a break and listen to this announcement. I hope it meets you well. Join me as I come to SNYOT in Istanbul, Turkey. Be my guest in Turkey for 2 days of God's manifestation and power. Tell everybody in Europe, tell everybody everywhere, join me in Turkey. It's going to be outstanding. It's going to be powerful. God will be healing people, will be ministering to people, and your life will never remain the same. Tell somebody to tell somebody to tell somebody that Apostle Johnson Suleiman is coming to SNYOT. I'm coming to Turkey. God bless you.
20th to 21st July 2021, 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. daily. Happening at Dogan Arasli Buhari number 21, Car 3, on top of Ak Bank, Dennis Bank, Tabela Duraki, SNYOT, Istanbul, Turkey. For inquiries, please call Impact 2021. Get ready.
Welcome back. Still on Newsdesk, battle over voting rights unfolding across the U.S. The battle over voting rights in the U.S. is a drama that's playing out in the Congress and state legislatures across the country. Joe Biden, in a farewell speech in Philadelphia, warns that American democracy is facing its greatest threat since the Civil War. The president says there are unfolding assaults taking place in America today, an attempt to suppress and subvert the right to vote and fair and free elections. Biden condemned recent efforts in 17 Republican-controlled states to pass laws curtailing when and where their citizens can vote. Laws conservatives have framed as irresponsible allegations of voting fraud repeatedly made by Donald Trump in the months after his presidential defeat. Many Republicans now believe the election was stolen from Trump, an assertion Biden calls the big lie, and one that has not been substantiated by concrete evidence. Meanwhile, in Texas, the fight over voting changes has led to drastic measures as Democratic legislatures have temporarily blocked passage of voting legislation by flying to Washington, D.C. There, they are pressuring congressional Democrats to enact new federal rules for conducting elections that would supersede any state actions. Bringing you more updates, and from Europe, the EU countries pushing back asylum seekers at sea. A row breaks out between the Greek government and the EU over the country's treatment of migrants trying to reach Europe from Turkey. The country's migration and asylum minister, Notis Mitarachi, rejects claims by a senior EU official that Greece is breaching European fundamental rights and says that reports of illegal deportation of people trying to reach Greece from Turkey were unfounded. Human rights group allege that thousands of people seeking asylum in Europe have been pushed back from Greece to Turkey before being given a chance to apply for asylum. And now bringing you news stories from the world of business. Marketers, TUC, disagree with Senate on fuel imports. Fuel marketers and the Trade Union Congress of Nigeria expresses their opposition to a provision in the Senate version of the Petroleum Industry Bill that allows only active refinery license holders to import petroleum products into the country. Subsection 8 of Section 317 of the bill says that the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority shall apply the backward integration policy in the downstream petroleum sector to encourage investment in local refining. To support this, license to import any product shortfalls shall be assigned only to companies with active local refining licenses. Import volume to be allocated between participants based on their respective production in the preceding quarter. The Major Oil Marketers Association of Nigeria and Depot and Petroleum Product Marketers Association of Nigeria notes in a joint statement that the clause restricted the license to import all refined products into the country to a very small number of local refiners. The marketers commended the government's plan to repair all existing refineries in a bid to boost refining capacity. According to the marketers, any provision that does not guarantee a free and open market will give room to price inefficiencies and eventually kill off small businesses in the downstream sector. Still from the world of business, travel agents lament Naira devaluation amid COVID-19. Some travel agents bewail the recent increase in the Naira-dollar exchange rate, saying the travel industry is yet to recover from the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. The Central Bank of Nigeria had in May devalued the Naira as it adopted the NAFEX exchange rate of 410 Naira 24 kobo per dollar as the official exchange rate, days after removing the 379 Naira per dollar rate from its website. It was gathered that travel agencies in the country had adjusted the exchange rate being used for foreign air tickets to 460 Naira per dollar from 440 Naira per dollar. The adjustment is expected to raise the cost of tickets for international flights. The Chief Executive Officer, Nola Travels and Tours Limited, Olubiyi Oluwajoba, says travel agents sees the increase in exchange rates coming, adding that it takes a toll on their businesses. He notes that COVID-19 had hit the travel business hard and travel agencies were yet to recover from it. Right now, we're taking a break, and when we return, we shall be looking at news stories from the world of sports. We'll be right back.
An amazing wonder prepared for mankind comes to Istanbul, Turkey.
God bless you. My name is Johnson Suleiman. Please take a break and listen to this announcement. I hope as I come to SNYOT in Istanbul, Turkey. Be my guest in Turkey for 2 days of God's manifestation and power. Tell everybody in Europe, tell everybody everywhere, join me in Turkey. It's going to be outstanding. It's going to be powerful. God will be healing people, will be ministering to people, and your life will never remain the same. Tell somebody to tell somebody to tell somebody that Apostle Johnson Suleiman is coming to SNYOT. I'm coming to Turkey. God bless you.
20th to 21st July 2021, 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. daily. Happening at Dogan Arasli Buhari number 21, Car 3, atop of Akbank, Dennis Bank, Tabela Duraki, SNYOT, Istanbul, Turkey. For inquiries, please call Impact 2021. Get ready.
Welcome back to Newsdesk. And now sports news. Second batch of Team Nigeria arrives Japan for Olympics. The second batch of Team Nigeria's contingent to the 2020 Tokyo Olympics departed Nigeria for the team's pre-games training camp in Kizurazu, Japan. Celebration TV correspondent gathered that the team port Abuja on board an Ethiopian airline flight. The contingent has competitors from athletics, taekwondo, and wrestling, including their coaches and other officials. Celebration TV had reported that the first batch of the athletes, which was made up of 2 athletes, 2 coaches, and 6 officials in the rowing and canoeing events, left the Abuja airport on June 6th. This was after the advanced team of the Sports Ministry had left Nigeria a day earlier. In another sports news, and finally on Newsdesk, Alphonso Davies faces long injury spell, says Bayern. Bayern Munich confirms left-back Alphonso Davies is facing a spell on the sidelines after sustaining an injury which on international duty with Canada. The 20-year-old damaged the lateral collateral ligament in his left ankle during training last week and was subsequently ruled out of Canada's upcoming Gold Cup campaign. Davies has returned to the Allianz Arena for treatment, but it's not yet known how long he will be out of action, although surgery is not required. The 20-year-old suffered an LCL tear to his left ankle in. And that's the size of the news for today from Newsdesk on Celebration TV. But in case you missed out, here is a recap of the headlines. Buhari seeks National Assembly's help to end insecurity. South African police calls for end to violent riots as death toll climbs over 70. Battle over voting rights unfolding across the U.S. Marketers TUC disagree with Senate on fuel imports. Second batch of Team Nigeria arrives Japan for Olympics. And now to the photo of the day. Taking a good look at this picture, it's obvious that both of them, the 2 persons involved, means no good for each other. Now, this only goes to tell you that not